And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Monday, January 27th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are on a Monday morning. It's cloudy and overcast. Had a little rain, but it's not as cold. So, going to be a magnificent Monday. We're glad to have you with us, and we are glad to be on the air each Monday at this time for Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main in Lebanon. Clint Kelly is with us this morning from the service department. Good morning again.
Good morning, Coleman.
We were talking a little football here before we went on the air, and some are excited and some are disappointed. That's the way it usually is.
Yeah, you're right. That's how football is.
Well, I guess we can forego other talk about that. There'll be areas of discussion until the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks, probably. But again, Clint Kelly, Service Department at Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. That is where you'll find Kubota tractors, hay equipment, zero-turn mowers, and RTVs. You'll find Exmark zero-turn mowers as well, the Red Max outdoor power equipment, Land Pride and Hustler brands. You've got it all.
We tried to. We've got some brands that we're really proud of. We're proud to partner with, and they make a good product that we can stand behind. And then one thing that from personal experience that we really enjoy, all those brands, their warranty is it's definitely backed up. They come through. They don't give us a big fuss when it comes down to warranty items. If something's broken and your machine's still under warranty, Kubota's really good about taking care of it. And I always tell people, I know we have lots of people that like doing service themselves on their mowers or on their tractors. Definitely bring it in from time to time while it's under warranty. So we always do a check to see if there's anything that's failed prematurely that we can get covered for you. Because if you don't ever bring it in that warranty period, you're kind of wasting part of your warranty.
Mm-hmm. And that goes with the price, of course. Mm-hmm. And you're really, in a sense, you're kind of cheating yourself by not doing that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, we find a lot of things, especially with mowers. I mean, there's stuff that starts to go out, especially on the mowing deck. So we definitely want to get that stuff looked at. And one thing that's great about bringing it in right now is there's time to where if we don't have a part, we can get it in. We're not, no one's waiting to cut grass right now, so it's not going to delay anything. So I definitely encourage people. That's the big thing I wanted to talk about today. We've got our winter service promotion that we're still doing for the rest of the month. So whether you want to do the service yourself, you can come into the parts department, get 15% off filters and oil. And even if you don't have a machine like the brands we were talking about earlier, if you've got a Skag or a Bad Boy, whatever, if you know that you've got a Kohler or a Kawasaki engine, take a picture of it. Come in because we've got the oil and the filters for those engines. So just come in. We can get you squared away with that stuff. Or if you, like we said, if you want to take advantage of your warranty, if you don't want to do the service, call us in the service department because we're doing you can take advantage of either getting 20% off a service package or we'll discount transport up to $250 to pick it up and then do the service and take it back to you. So it's a great time to get stuff done. Those lingering issues that were kind of bothersome during the mowing season that you didn't want to quite give away your mower for a week or two, it's a great time to get it in before there's the big springtime rush and commercial guys are back cutting and that stuff starts breaking again.
All of this spoken like a true service department manager.
Trying to be, absolutely. But just trying to make sure people are aware. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, you talk about that all the time. It's making sure people are aware of those benefits that they can take advantage of when they come in.
Well, but service is what it's all about, and so many people, they may know how to change the oil and do some fairly simple things, but the products change a lot, and they don't wait too long for a new change or a new addition to come down the road. Heading up service department, you keep up with all that a whole lot more than anybody out here that doesn't have access to all of that.
Well, absolutely. I mean, our we've got a fantastic team of technicians. Our master technician, one fantastic thing about him is there may be something that has been a lingering issue on your machine that you may not even be aware of. He gets out and he test drives it, and he finds something that it's a huge repair because he's been doing this for 10 years. So, I mean, there's some great benefits to that of having guys that are, on these things every day that they know how they're supposed to operate. And because even me, when I'm mowing, I'm only mowing maybe once a week. But my technician, he's on machines every single day, so he knows what they're supposed to do and not do and how they should handle. And when they're not in alignment, he gets them taken care of.
Well, again, all of this waiting for you at 1506 West Main, Absolute Kubota. You've got a really nice place there, a nice lot that's just about filled with those orange Kubota tractors and implements and all of this. And, of course, X-Mark's not orange, is it?
No, we've got X-Mark that's red and then Hustler's yellow. So those are the big colors we've got on the lot. Just come on down and we'll get you taken care of.
And right now you are still open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., closed on Saturdays until a few more weeks go by.
Actually, so it'll be this coming Saturday. We're back open again. So starting in February. Yep.
Already? Okay. Just January.
Yep, just January. Really, it's just January, December, and I think the last week of November.
Yeah. All right. Well, Clint, thanks so much for being with us today. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate you being with us. That is it for Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. You can give them a call, 615-449-6171. 10 minutes after the hour, and he is here. State Representative Clark Boyd. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Coleman.
Have any time for sports this weekend?
Not really. I'm not as into the NFL. I'll watch it sometimes with my son, but I'll stay on the Titans. But after that, I just watch it if it's on. But no, I didn't really watch it.
Well, it was a great weekend for me till last night. Vanderbilt won a couple of games, and the women won, beat Alabama, and Vanderbilt. Who'd Vanderbilt beat? Whoever they played Saturday afternoon. Was it? No, it's Tennessee. Never mind. You're
talking about college basketball. I thought you were going down the NFL road there.
We'll do any of it.
Yeah.
But
I'm more of I like college football, and I like Major League Baseball and college baseball. That's really what I stay on top of.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll make a note of that.
Okay.
Well, we probably need to get busy here because it seems anymore with you, time just flies by, and it's you're ready to start a special session.
Today, yeah.
And do you know the results of that already?
Well, the governor called a special session, and he named the 3 subjects that can be addressed there. They're not necessarily tied to each other, but it just means you can't go outside of that scope. I have spoken to someone from the administration on 2 of the 3. The third one, we just could not get a phone call scheduled, but I'm meeting with them today about some of the East Tennessee flood relief. I don't know. I don't have a lot of details to shed on that. I don't know what's in the legislation or in the financial package, but I'll learn about that today. But I don't imagine anything there will be particularly controversial. The other 2 things, one of them is the immigration piece. And I did have a conversation. I've got a few notes here from the conversation I had with that. But, for the first time in years, we have a partner in Washington, D.C. when it comes to immigration. We have someone that actually will come get the illegal criminals. For a while there, we did everything we could at the state level to thwart local governments that wanted to create sanctuary cities. But at the end of the day, if you've got someone in your custody and ICE won't come get them, you can't make them do that. And so we believe now that we are going to start picking up some of these criminals and deporting them. And so the governor wants to establish a centralized immigration enforcement division under the Department of Safety. So this would be kind of our own little version of ICE. And these people will be specially trained in immigration law, both the ones that we've put on the books at the state level, but also federal immigration law. And so they will oversee state and local cooperation with immigration. There'll be a application submitted to the federal government to enter us into a 287G program. And they'll have strategic enforcement plans and making sure that everyone's compliant. It also incentivizes local governments to enter into agreements with the federal authorities under the 287G program to assist, in immigration detention and removal. And it establishes penalties for officials that fail to comply. In fact, it actually creates a Class C felony if local officials adopt or try to maintain a sanctuary city power. And so this is serious business, and I'm excited about this. And if you've not heard anything, and I may be mispronouncing this, but the Tre de Arago Venezuelan gang is now in America, and they're in Tennessee as well, and they're They're bad dudes, and so we need to do a better job instead of just responding to a crime that's committed and then realizing that it was gang related. I mean, we need to get these folks and rip them up by the roots and get them out of here. And I think when we have them in custody, if there's a special agency within the Department of Safety that understands this and can go out and make sure and coordinate with immigrations and customs officials at the federal level, I think we can tackle this at the state level.
Do you see any problems with getting this passed and much tweaking that'll even be done?
I don't. I mean, this will probably be a partisan thing. I would imagine the Democrats would be opposed to it, but I think we'll get this passed pretty easily. The funding is not much because the Department of Safety already, is there and has the resources. I think the only notes, but I seem to recall that the only thing the only cost that they had associated with it was the salaries and benefits of the people that they were going to hire to do this, and so I think this will be pretty easy to get passed. I think it's a good thing.
Okay, we're at the time for a break, and we want to talk about that third thing for the special session, and that has to do with school vouchers. And we'll get on that when we come back on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Get a regular oil change, $39.95 up to 5 quarts of oil. Tax and disposal, $17.80 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Starting to load up a little bit more volume. 65 southbound as you come out of Robertson County into Sumner County. As a matter of fact, it was really slow there a few minutes ago on 65 southbound just south of Portland. It's loading up with more volume. 24 westbound up to the Antioch area coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. Whether you need a new roof repair, roof inspection, anything happening with your roof, call Independent Roofing Specialist. Check out irsroofs.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When there's work to do, ground to break, and a reputation to uphold, you need the powerful, durable Kubota RTVX, North America's #1 selling diesel utility vehicle. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $1,000. Now through January 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main, Lebanon. Cumberland Phoenix Baseball is back in action and chasing another Mid-South Conference championship with a big 50-game schedule including a whopping 35 home games. That gives Phoenix fans plenty of chances to catch a game or two at Woody Hunt Stadium, also known as the Six, where all U.S. military veterans get in free. You can hear every game on these radio stations or on GoCumberlandAthletics.com. The season starts on Saturday, February 1st and Sunday, February 2nd. We'll see you at the Six.
We continue here on this Monday morning. Thanks for joining us, and we always thank our legislators for giving us time to let our listeners know what's going on. State Representative Clark Boyd is here if you joined us late, and we are talking about the special session. We've really discussed a couple of what most people would say are the minor parts of this. You probably wouldn't, but most people are concerned about the school voucher and what's going to happen. So we've got, if we need to, the rest of the time this morning to talk about that. It all starts today.
That's right. All right. Well, Coleman, we're going down there today, and we'll go into regular session, then immediately out and into special session, and that will begin what the governor has called, as I said, for these three things. The third one is the school choice legislation, and this is probably the most controversial one. It always is. We have done various forms of school choice or vouchers, whatever you want to call them, over the years, and it's always the one that you get the most feedback and pushback from, and so this one. I don't even know where to start on this one. So this has been an interesting dynamic this time. Politics makes strange bedfellows, but it seems like we've had two different groups kind of pop up. There's both of them have online presence, and one is a very, very kind of radical liberal online organization that's against it, and they're against it from the liberal perspective. They don't want any parent choice or anything that would give competition or anything. But on the right, there's a couple of organizations that are always there. They I don't have a lot of dealings with them. They just their philosophy is we're just never conservative enough. No matter what we do, I mean, they could give us an idea, we could run it, and then they would take 2 steps to the right and criticize it and say that we weren't conservative enough. And they don't like it because they don't think it's conservative enough. They think it favors public schools too much. If they want a school choice that is what everybody envisions when they hear school choice. I suppose would want us to take school funding and use it for vouchers. I don't know what it is they want, but they don't like that this strikes a balance. If they do it, they want to go all in. And so both of them have kind of stirred up their groups, and then there are the kind of everyone else in the middle. And I've mentioned this before, but a lot of the conversations that I have, there are people that like it, there are people that have questions about it, and then there are people that have been convinced that this is somehow a battle royale between public and private, and they'll email me or say, hey, or call me and say, Clark, I don't like this because I don't want you to defund public education. And I say, well, we don't do that. This bill doesn't do that. And I'll explain it, and they'll say, oh, well, that's not what I heard, but if I'm okay with it now, or they'll say, well, I'm afraid that my niece that's a teacher is going to lose her job. And you say, well, she shouldn't, and explain how the bill works. And she says, well, or they'll say, well, that's not how I was explained, so that makes sense now. So I think there's a lot of misinformation about the bill out there, which is the case a lot of times. And unfortunately, Coleman, I don't have the luxury of voting on a bill that I don't get to vote on what people say it does on Facebook or whatever. I have to vote on the real bill that's in front of me. And I have always made a commitment from the very beginning. I've told folks I am open to the idea of school choice, giving parents and students more opportunities. I think more choices is better. I don't care if it's healthcare or shopping or whatever. I mean, my dad's a veteran. He goes to the VA for a lot of things. He's got a disability, but sometimes he goes to a non-VA doctor, and I like that he has that option. So I'm totally down with that. But the promise that I've always made is that I am for that. But if it is going to be detrimental to our public education system, which we have to have a good public education system, and we've got a great one, especially here in Wilson County, then I would be against it. And so because of that, when people ask me, are you for or against vouchers, it's really hard to answer that until you see the legislation. I could find the most pro-voucher person in the world, and I could write a bill that's so terrible that they would be against it. People that say they're never for vouchers, we could write a bill that's so good that they would even be for it. So it really depends on the finished product. Last year, there was a piece of legislation that came out, and the governor had a version, the Senate had a version, the House had a version. I kind of liked the House one, but it was changing every day in committee, so I never would really go all in against or for it. But in the end, I had to be against the legislation because it was not a good bill. It was not good for Wilson County. And so it's not beyond me to be opposed to these bills, but this version, I believe, strikes the balance that we've all been looking for. And I have met with officials that don't like it, but when they stop and the air is clear and they tell you the truth, they say, this is the best version I've ever seen. No. But they'll still be against it. They don't want anything, but they agree this is the best one they've ever seen. Here's the thing. The reason I think this strikes a good balance is because it gives the parents and the students the choice that they've been asking for. It creates school choice within an LEA. They can switch schools if they want to, but which they can already do here. But it also allows them to use their tax dollars that they get in the scholarship program, which doesn't come from the TISA funding, which funds public schools. It's separate dollars that the governor has allocated. Gives them the opportunity to use those to go wherever they want to go, so long as the school will accept them. That's what the school choice people have been asking for. But my public school administrators and friends, they have always said, and I remember last year when we were in a meeting, Jeff Luttrell was in there, Mark Pody, and Jeff asked Mark, he said, why do y'all test us so much? Why all the testing? And I remember Senator Pody said to him, because when we're spending billions of dollars, we have to have accountability. And then Jeff said something that resonated with me, and I've never forgot it. He said, well, if that's the case, if we ever have vouchers, then you've got to test the people that get the vouchers. And I mean, when he said that, I mean, my mind was open. I said, Jeff, that is absolutely right. I never thought about that. I called him later and said, Jeff, that had never occurred to me. And I went back, and I think a lot of legislators took that feedback back to the sponsors of the bill. And, of course, that bill died. But this bill does that. If you get a voucher, you're going to have to take a test, and that those results go back to the state, and we're going to be accountable to know how those dollars are being spent. The other thing that it does, and let me tell you how funding works for schools now. So we have a price per student that we pay. There are some different factors depending on poverty level, rural versus urban, if they have an IEP or any sort of special need. But so it could be higher, but we give a certain dollar amount from the state. Then the locals give a matching portion of that as well. That's how that works. But if students leave, then the funding stops. So if 5 students left Wilson County Schools and went to Rutherford County, then our funding would go to Rutherford County. Mm-hmm. If 5 schools left and went homeschool, the funding would leave Wilson County, but it would just go back to the state. If they went to a private school, the funding stops. It just goes back to the state. So that is the way it is now. There's always a risk that students will move away or decide to go homeschool. Funding, we're not going to pay you if you're not educating the kid. This bill does something that I'm surprised that the governor is willing to put this in there, but this is something that public schools probably have always wanted. And it is a guarantee that there's a floor. So, because there's been such concern that, well, what if we lose some students? And finally the governor said, okay, we'll put a floor in there. So when this thing starts, that if you lose so many students that it would have gone down, we'll just keep it where it was. Coleman, I don't know anybody in public schools that's always, fighting for every dollar they can get that wouldn't want some sort of guarantee. The counties and cities, whether city school system or a county school system, they already have that. It's called maintenance of efforts. They can't pay them less than they did before. If the state is willing to do that, that takes all of the concern about losing funding off the table. And then the other thing that it does is, a few years ago, a bill was passed that created that allowed sports betting, but it created a tax on it. Now, I've said this before. I detest sports betting. I voted against it. I've known people that have become addicted to it. I just think it's a highly addictive thing, and I'm concerned that we allowed that. But I voted against it. But nonetheless, it's in place. There are dollars coming in. We've not allocated those dollars to anything yet. They're just piling up now. But there have been some different ideas. There have been some things. I'm sure that some of our leaders in higher education would like to use them for buildings or different things. But this bill would take those dollars or a portion of them and will put them out there for our school districts to be able to tap into to build schools. So, I go to Emmanuel Baptist Church. Lebanon Special bought our land, and they're planning to build a school at some point. That would be helpful. Our counties, normally have to bond out the money and to build schools. How cool would it be if they could tap into some state dollars for that as well? So when I'm looking at this, I understand why people are calling and emailing and in opposition to it, because if I was not an elected official and I wasn't paying attention and someone called me or I saw a post on Facebook that said, hey, they're about to do something that's going to hurt public education, I would call my legislator. Who wouldn't do that? And so I understand why people are reaching out. But when I talk to people individually and I explain what this bill does, the opposition melts away. This is the bill, I believe, that strikes the balance.
All right. The county commission and I think the Board of Education have both voted to oppose the school voucher thing. How do you react to that?
Well, I don't know. I've had a couple of county commissioners that have come up and said, we probably shouldn't have done that. It was, but we did do it, and we just generally, and they seemed like they were more opposed to the idea of the governor having a special session. The ones that I spoke with, they said that was really the problem we had. We thought it should have been litigated over the entire session. But I've told school board members and I've told administrators, I've said, listen, you work there. I mean, you're a company man. I understand why you're against this. I mean, like, if I were you, I see why you don't want, any sort of competition or dollars being used for something else. But it's the 21st century, and I just think that we've made changes over the last few years. I mean, think now kids are getting online degrees. They're going to school online now. That wasn't even a thing 15 years ago. I mean, we're constantly evolving. But I've always said, and I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I've always said that if something like this were going to happen, you've got to be careful, because if it's not done properly, it could hurt public education. And that's been a fear of mine, and that's why last year I was a no. I mean, it never came to a vote, but in the whip count, when we were trying to decide if it was going anywhere, I said I no longer support this bill. But this one, I believe, strikes that balance. Now, it could get off the rails. They could add something in it that makes it terrible and it doesn't go anywhere. But I feel like in its current form, I'm probably supportive of it. And I think most of my colleagues are too, because they've gone back and they've gotten feedback from their districts. And although they're not ever going to love it, I think this strikes that balance that supports public education, but it also gives the
I think
parents
you have
the choice.
explained your position very well this morning, and I appreciate you being here, and I wish we had more time, but it's 7:30. Thank you so much. I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Coleman.
All right. That's State Representative Clark Boyd in Part 1 of Coleman and Company. Please keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's still a little bit sluggish over here on 65 southbound as you come down through Robertson County, just south of Portland. We've watched this for the last 30, 45 minutes out here, run pretty slow in that area coming down from the north. Loading up pretty good, 24 westbound up through the Antioch area in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. When you need dependable towing for your car or big truck, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery. Why? Because these guys are the best. Check out strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's tax time, and Cars Unlimited Tax Service is locally owned and has 33 years of experience in preparing taxes. They do upfront loans of $250 to $6,000. They're also an authorized IRS e-file provider. Call 615-449-2955 or stop by 1006 West Main Street in Lebanon. Cars Unlimited Tax Service stands ready to help you prepare your taxes.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
You can expect partly cloudy skies for today, highs in the upper 40s. Clear tonight, lows in the upper 20s, and then partly cloudy skies on Tuesday. A little bit warmer again, afternoon highs in the mid 50s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. With your severe view forecast, I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
And we welcome you to Part 2 of Coleman and Company. It's a Monday. Mondays at this time, we feature the Farm Bureau Expo Center and its Director of Marketing and Events, Gail Hellam. Gail, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to see you again.
As always, nice to see
you.
you.
Saying you got a busy week, a busy day, but that's part of the job.
That is. It is. All that holiday kind of slower time, it's gone.
Yeah. Well, the weather's a little bit warmer. I don't know what the weather. So much of what you do is inside there. If you can get in, well, everything's probably okay.
It is, and that's really one of the big selling points of the expo is that, nobody's out there having outdoor car shows right now, but if you could get inside, that's a whole different story.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you have quite a bit of space there. We've talked about this before. I mean, some people rent the whole expo center. In fact, some people rent the whole ag center, but probably doesn't happen too often. But you don't have to. You have a fairly small space that can be rented when you don't need more, and I think that's what makes it. You're able to offer a lot.
That flexibility and adaptability is really our core strength. We've got the 45,000 square feet on one side, which is a classic expo hall. It's got electricity fully throughout it and stuff, and it divides into 2 rooms. So you can have 2 of 22.5 or have 1 of 45. And on the flip side, on the other side of the building, you've got a 7,000 square foot room, which I term is more of a convention style room because it's got the carpet and it just looks like a convention center when you walk in there. Then you got 7,000 square feet in the hallway, and total the whole building is 79,000 square feet, but that includes our storage areas and that type of stuff that people aren't going to use, but that stuff is part of their event. So
mm-hmm. But things have looked pretty good, I think, for at least the last couple of years, and we're getting out of COVID and going forward, and I think really right now it sounds like the sky's the limit.
We are busy. We just had over 8,000 people go in and out the expo over the weekend. That was for a dance group that came through, which is one of our normal ones. That was Groove. And we've got the boat and fishing show moving in this week. I think they're going to start moving in on Wednesday. So all of that will begin, and then we will have the home show, and then we'll have an antique show, and then we're back to dance.
And this fishing show, is that something that's been going on for a long time?
Yes. And
is that the same thing that used to be held at the old municipal auditorium?
Could be. I think they've been with the Expos since the Expo opened. I mean, I'm going on, mine will be 5 years in May, which seems hard to believe, but I think so. And, there's always a little bit of difference in theirs. Their concentration is boat and fishing, but they do have some camping and they do have some outdoor stuff. So, he mixes it up. So there's something for everybody. And they literally take up the entire building.
How do people find out mostly about what you're doing? I mean, you do marketing. Obviously, that's part of your title and job, but you can't reach everybody by telephone or whatever. I mean, I don't know how much calling you actually do, but you're getting the name out there so that they call or contact you.
Right. That's exactly the point, is that I try to do conferences where I meet with event planners and I make the presence known that the Expo Center is there. The last conference I went to, I probably talked to 72 people in 3 days. That was a lot of people and a lot of redundancy in what I shared, but it's about that consistency and getting that word out. I may not walk out of that conference with a booking or 10 bookings, but they know who I am. And then that consistency of being at those conferences from year to year, you start building those relationships. And then whether I'm a fit for them, they know who I am. So they're more likely to recommend that to somebody that they know that may need a space like mine.
Right.
So that has worked well. I will say this past year, I was a little not 100% just due to things happened in my life, and I didn't go to any conferences after February, and I can see where that may have impacted kind of that consistency, but already setting up a full schedule for at least 3 conferences this year, so gave myself a little break.
All right. Well, about come to the end of our time here, but thanks for being with us. Have a great week, and come back next Monday. We'll do it again.
Sounds wonderful. You have a good day.
All right. Gail Hallam, Director of Marketing and Events for the Farm Bureau Expo Center. That takes us to 21 and a half before 8 o'clock. And here on this Monday morning, I have invited William Westmoreland to be my guest, and he is I understand, the chairman of the I don't know whether it's the Airport Commission, but anyway, our airport here in Lebanon. Good morning, first of all.
Good morning, Coleman.
What is your official title?
I am the airport chairman.
Okay. All right.
The Airport Commission.
And you have been for a while. I think you succeeded T.O. Craig Wall. Is that right?
Yes. I've been chairman 2 years now, and T.O. was eternity. I don't know how long T.O.'s been serving, but he's still a VP.
Yeah.
So I still lean. He sits beside me every meeting, and I'm like, "Hey, T.O., do we have to get a vote on that?" So he still helps me out.
Well, what's anything in really newsworthy or a hot topic that's going on right now at the airport, or things just pretty normal?
There's quite a bit happening right now. We got Southeast Development finally going to happen. We've been talking about that for about 5 years now, and we're pushing forward through it. And so we got a private developer that's teaming up. I think everything's going to work out with him, and he's going to privately build some hangars out there to get us more space.
How badly are these hangars needed? I mean, is there pretty much a demand and a real need there?
I think we got, and I'm just shooting off the top of my head, I think we got about 45 people on the waiting list right now. Maybe more than that. Are
you saying you could have 45 hangars, or that they would be sharing some?
That's T hangar. So this new building that's probably going to go up, it'll have 15 hangars in it. So it'll have 15 planes. So we're still not going to have enough. I mean, this is ongoing and going and going. We'll never have enough hangars because there's a ton of people that love Lebanon Airport.
But there is, the need is there apparently, and you can certainly justify building this and the cost involved that's going to, I would think, pay for itself later on over time.
Absolutely, but putting on the city side here, that's a lot of money to for the city to dish out. Usually the state, back in the day, the state would fund 95% of that money, but now they've cut back, and so it's hard for the city of Lebanon to come up with that kind of money. So we partnered with a private developer, and he's going to build them and rent them out. Some of them he may sell. There's some out there for sale now. So
that's maybe the best way to handle this. In your opinion, this is a good idea and the way to go?
Oh, yeah. T-Dot Aeronautics praises the city of Lebanon for partnering with private. They absolutely love it. They talk about it a lot. Funny, Joe, we went down to the mayor and I in Heather Bay, and I think RT was with us, and we went down to T-Dot Aeronautics about 2 years ago when I was begging for money, and I did my little pitch and told them, said, hey, come up with this idea. We need 40,000 cubic yards of material on this side, and we need a taxiway on this side, so let's just rob the material from this side and put it over here. And they're like, Mr. Mayor, you're blessed to have this kind of guy as your chairman, and I still poke the mayor about that every day. I see, you still know how lucky you are.
Well, you mentioned RT, and you may as well introduce the fellow you brought with you here.
All right, I got RT Baldwin with me, and what a lot of people don't know about RT, he wears a lot of hats.
Well, hold on just a minute. RT, good morning and welcome to our program. Nice to see you again. You've been here a few other occasions on something else, but it's good to see you, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So RT wears a lot of hats, but Jeff Bain has given him a lot more responsibility at the airport. He and Heather had been assigned to clear these trees for our ALS approaches. And I'm going to let him tell you how many acres of trees that they have had cleared less than a year.
All
it's
right.
amazing.
So, little backstory on that. So that was part of our lighting project. it's second phase of our lighting project. So we did a flight check on it and established that there were many obstructions, trees that were obstructing the airspace. So as part of that was the initiative to clear trees. So I know on just the City of Lebanon property alone, we cleared over 15 acres of trees. And then on the private property, we had 21 property owners that we had to deal with to get permission to cut trees down. And so this has been a 2-year project just to.
What's the reasoning for this? Why do you need to cut the trees?
Well, because you have the airspace where the planes fly in. So when they come into land, the trees were actually encroaching into that airspace.
Okay.
So it's
space that they actually needed for their flight down to land.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. It's the
angle
take
off too, I guess.
It's the angle of the approach when they come in. There's many different surfaces that the FAA requires that you have to have clear, and this is part of that. So that was one of the major hurdles that we had, was clearing these trees, and it was about a 2-year project that we were finally wrapping that up. And as part of that, we'll finally get our flight check and get all of our lighting certified as a result of that.
Well, now is you just totally clearing the trees away? I mean, they're not. Or did you just top some of them and you have to go back and do some?
Well, on our property we eliminated them, and then on other properties a few we trimmed, but the majority we tried to just eliminate them. But we have offered replacement trees that won't grow as tall. We had about 10 or 12 different species that they could choose from, so we offered that as an option to replace them with.
Well, it was probably an interesting project on your part. You have different people to deal with, and everybody doesn't want the same end result, I guess, right?
Right. I mean, no matter what you're involved with, everybody has a different personality and a different perspective. So, yeah, you're right.
Well, you must have done a good job. William's bragging on you.
Thank you.
He does a lot. I'm going to tell you, between him and Heather, they team up and they get it done.
Yeah.
If I could I add something to what William said earlier? So he was talking about the Southeast Development and the funding mechanism for those projects. So 5 years ago, I don't know if you remember, but the FAA and the federal government came out with the bipartisan infrastructure law, where they gave money to municipalities everywhere. And as part of that funding, that's how we're able to do this Southeast Development. And so we're getting $292,000 a year for 5 years. So that's how we're doing the infrastructure on this. And we pay 5%. The city pays 5%. And most of our grants are like that we receive. We pay 5%, and the feds or the state pick up the rest. So that's how we're doing this.
All right, we need to take a break, but one more thing before we do. When this is completed, would you say 15 hangars, I believe?
Yes, sir.
And what's maybe the target date for that? Do you have any idea?
Well, RT could probably answer that. He knows.
So we actually have the project out to bid right now, and our bids are due back next month. So we're anticipating this summer to start construction. So hopefully the end of the year, this year.
Okay. What's that going to do? That's what I'm wondering. How's it going to improve or enhance or be better for everybody? I think I know, but
for one, obviously the space, as William said, that we have a list that we can't fill that list, and then secondly, financially, it helps the city, for the hangar rents, because we receive revenue for that, so that will offset any costs that we have for the infrastructure costs and the construction.
Okay, let's take our break, and more coming up on Coleman & Company FM 98.9.
Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by Absolute Kubota. Premium brands require premium parts and service. Contact Absolute Kubota's Elite Certified Service Department to schedule an appointment. 449-6171. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They moved this wreck over to the side on 24 westbound at Walden Road. It's slow up through there now, but it was already getting busy in that area because of all that traffic that's coming in from Rutherford County. Murfreesboro headed towards Nashville. That's 24 west. That wreck's to the right-hand side there at Walden Road. It's been sluggish this morning trying to get down through Robertson County, 65 southbound as you trying to get down past 114 mile marker there south of Portland. Hey, when you need dependable towing, make sure you call STR Towing and Recovery. Check them out at strtow.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
1.5 seconds left, no timeouts. Here's your season. Negron gives it to Bird. Bird for the win. It's good! He got it! College hoops is back, and so is Cumberland University on the radio. Join me, John Boyce, in the booth for every Mid-South Conference game this regular and postseason for both men's and women's Phoenix basketball. Conference games are every Thursday starting at 5:30 and every Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Phoenix basketball is right here on 98.9. Cumberland's a winner.
Need a venue for your next corporate training, meeting, luncheon, or customer appreciation event? These are just a few of the event options that the Farm Bureau Expo Center can accommodate within its 79,000 square feet of adaptable event space. The Farm Bureau Expo Center offers unparalleled versatility for corporate events in Wilson County. Come on by and check us out. For booking details as well as upcoming events, visit farmbureauexpo.com or find us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you soon at the Farm Bureau Expo.
Thanks for joining us here on a Monday morning. We are about 11 before the hour now, and William Westmoreland, who's chairman of the Airport Commission of the City of Lebanon, and R.T. Baldwin. R.T., we didn't get your title. You've worked with the city for some time.
I'm the Public Services Manager.
All right. William, you got somebody you want to say hello to?
I want to say hi to my wife and my mama. My mama's driving a school bus today, and which she does every day. She's been driving for about 45 years now.
Wow.
And
Trish Westmoreland.
Yep. And I'm going to take a little stab at my sister here because my birthday's coming up February 14th. So my mama always tells everybody that I was the best Valentine present she ever had. So I hope you're listening to that, Christy.
All right. Very good. Well, you have a business that's over. If you're going west on the bypass, it's just past Sellers Funeral Home there,
Yes, sir.
and you did a little remodeling, and actually, I think you built you a second story. Is that maybe some office space up there?
I did. I
haven't been in it, but I've seen.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna do this a blanket invite here. Anybody wants to stop by there, I promise you, you'll never see what's inside there anywhere else, and I'll leave it at that. I guarantee you won't see it anywhere else. And so for years we had worked out of 300 square feet, and it was time. I mean, we were just busting at the seams, and Jack Bill came and built that for me, and I think he did an awesome job. I was going for that southern home look, and he really pulled it off, and we really needed that space. We enjoy it. We got plenty of room, elbow room now.
Yeah.
And anybody wants to come by and check it out, come by and check it out. I promise there's something in there.
I
you
believe
won't
it's
never
called
see.
Westmoreland Grading. That's your name of your business.
Yes, sir.
What mostly you do?
Well, just a little bit of everything. I mean, we do driveways, we do yards, we do commercial work. Like we did the Goodwill. Just naming off some things. I mean, there's nothing too small, nothing too big. A little backstory to that. Daddy started doing this in 1985, and we've been around a long time, and he's still there every single day.
Well, busy right now. It's a lull time in the winter.
It's that time of year everybody starts slowing up. Of course, weather just kills us right now. You know, you never know what you're going to get to do from day to day. You have plans, but they'll change. Just let the weather decide
well, maybe
for
this
you.
gives you a little more time to see what's happening at the airport or whatever.
Yeah, that's when I do get to devote a little more time to the airport. Yes, is in the winter. In the summer, I was telling Jeff Bain the other day, I was like, I feel like I just don't devote the time that's deserved for this chairman's job. I said, I just have so much things going on. He's like, no. He says, you do good. I actually hold the record. I have broken records at the commission meetings. Paul Stum is so excited. J.D. Lowry, everybody. And that record is I have the fastest commission meetings ever. We're in, I think my record's 36 minutes. When T.O. was doing it, 2.5, 3 hours. And I was talking to the mayor the other day, and I said, you want to know my secret? He said, yeah, I want to know your secret. I said, committees. I said, sign committees, let them have the discussion, hash it out, bring it back to the table, and we vote on it. And that's how we get through everything.
RT, are you a part of that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I report all the project updates and everything.
You
to
can
the commission.
vouch for his statement.
Yes.
How do you view the airport? We've heard different people, and really the message pretty much is what I hear is the same, that we've got really a fine airport, and what a treasure really that it is for the city. It doesn't directly affect everybody, but I guess most all of us are affected some way or another indirectly by having a good airport and having what we have here, and so on.
I mean, it's a great asset for the city. The location in relation to where Nashville is and where we are is great. It's amazing if you would go out there for half a day and the number of flights that come in and out of there. You really don't think there's that many out there, but the number of operations we have on a daily basis, it would amaze you. And then the support that we get, of course, from City Council and the mayor, and the funding that they provide to match the grants that we receive. I mean, there's a really good interest and a great support that we have for the airport. So it's a very good asset.
What do y'all as a commission, and again, William, you're chairman of it, and Arthur, you're a member. You attend the meetings.
I attend the meetings. I don't vote or anything. I just give updates.
Okay. But we've already established its importance, I guess. But what do y'all mostly do in business, and you're part of taking care of the airport, overseeing it?
Well, we are an advisory board, so we advise to the city council. And with that said, the mayor just appointed 2 new commission meetings. Philip Moorhead, he's city councilman, and Tyler McNutt. So we have some city councilmen on the airport commission. So it's things that we discuss, like we want to get conceptual drawings for future phases, and we'll vote on that, and we recommend that to the city council. And they're really good, and having the city council members there on the commission helps us a lot, because it gets translated to city council. Yes, this is what we wanted to do. The commission voted on it. They recommend it, and it's not really day-to-day things, because Heather handles all the day-to-day things, but it's just like stuff like that, and stuff from the T-Dot Aeronautics comes out, like we have to do certain things like clear those trees. We have to I think we had to get a little money for that, and we had to ask city council for that. We voted on that, recommended that we get those trees removed, and they only come back on this one time, I think, for one thing, and we re-voted. So
what about our federal regulations involved with decisions that you make, things you have to do, as well as state?
Well, yes and no. There is a lot of federal stuff that comes down that's mandated. We have no choice. I mean, we have to obey by that. But I will tell you this. I'm kind of jumping off subject here, but to tell you how important that this airport is to the city of Lebanon, we did a study. I think it was about 2 years ago. Heather did the study, and this airport generates about $50 million in revenue a year. Is the study that was done, and we're landing about 70,000 flights a year on this runway. So a lot of people come here to do business because they'll drive to Nashville, Smyrna, Murfreesboro. The reason for that is because they don't want to go to B&A, and they'll sit in their private plane. They'll sit on the ramp for an hour just trying to get to the runway. Well, their time is valuable. So they come here, they buy our fuel, and they buy our goods, and they do business, and they leave.
So, and then that's something the average person probably is not aware. In fact, I don't remember hearing that before. Certainly makes sense and saves time, but it's really revenue for the city of Lebanon.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah. City really benefits, and we never have any issues with the city council or the mayor when we have anything that's coming up. I mean, it's not astronomical, they don't even question it. They just take care of it.
Well, one thing you have, I don't know whether you've totally eliminated it or not, or got it moved, but the soccer was played over there for a long time. Is it still there at all, or?
Yes, it is still there.
But it's about to be gone.
It's about to be gone. So I think that they're hopefully playing soccer this spring at the new field, and we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know what's going to happen.
But you feel better about that, don't you? That it's going to be out at the complex there on the 231 South and away from the airport.
Yeah, I know. As an airport chairman and all the other commissioners are very excited about that real estate because we're having conceptual drawn up now, and we're trying to do a mixed use commercial and T hangers. So it'd be kind of like private and commercial. So we're looking at bringing some commercial businesses in there, airport related.
Mm-hmm.
So Valair, they just made a big milestone. They got their own radio shop now, working on planes, and there's planes come from all over to get their radios worked on now. And he's a Garmin dealer. That's a big deal in the aviation world. So we've got that on our airfield now. So we're hoping to have other businesses like that.
William, thanks so much for being with us. And RT, you can have the last word if you can do it in 20 seconds.
I just appreciate the opportunity to come on and speak again, and appreciate the support that we get for our airport.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, RT Baldwin, along with William Westmoreland, chairman of the Airport Commission. And that is it for a Monday. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. And until then, I wish you a magnificent day.